neighborhood nerds. This is Judah Rad, and I'm chilling with my buddy, Robo Strange. Today is a very special day. Current senior editor at Valiant, former Marvel editor, co-creator of Gwenpool, penguin enthusiast, and friend of I Freaking Love Comics, Heather Antos, is back on our show. Heather, it's been like almost a year since we last spoke. Just what's new?
Really been a year?
Like maybe 9 months. I don't know. I'm rounding up.
Has it seriously been that long?
Yeah.
I think it was exactly a year because I think we talked to you in either April or May.
That blows my mind.
Time no longer has meaning.
Well, right. It's like in these pandemic times, it's time is like everything either feels like it happened yesterday or was 20 years ago.
That's
right?
It.
Like there's no middle ground with anything.
That's exactly right. Yeah, time has no meaning. We just both moved. And I was like, yeah, I just moved here. And they were like, it's April, right? I mean, you've been here for months. And I'm like, oh my God. So it wasn't like a couple weeks ago. That's crazy. So yeah, 100%. So to get right into it, two big exciting things. One of them you teased last time. So Shadowman with the team, Cullen, Bunn, and John Hunt, and Final Witness by Ray Fox and Jeremy Hahn. Those are finally released, or not released, but they're coming out. And how stoked are you? Like, how exciting is this for you?
Gosh, like, it doesn't feel real, like really, because I mean, Shadowman with Cullen, I think I started talking to him about it February 2019. So like literally over 2 years.
Wow.
Like this book has been and Ray and I first chatted the initial idea for Final Witness at, I think it was Heroes Con 2019. So June 2019. So again, like over 2 years ago. And, obviously they were both supposed to come out last year, last spring. And the pandemic definitely threw a wrench into all of that. But like, I'm so proud of these books. The creative teams are just working with them as a dream come true. They're both like huge passion project babies to me. And like, I'm so proud of them, and to like finally get them in your hands and for you guys to enjoy them and read them and hopefully like them as much as we do. I mean, this is why we do it, right? Like, this is why we make this stuff, is so you guys can read it. And so to finally be able to let you guys read it is like, it's the best.
It is awesome. We did get a little sneaky peek at the Shadowman. I don't know if we upset Greg or not, but he didn't send us Final Witness. So if you could just get on top of him and get us Final Witness, so we can not.
I think
for sure.
I think I know someone. I know a guy. So
do you?
All right. So speaking of Shadowman, it seems like it's an interesting take, and I like it. I liked the first issue a lot. It's like it's balancing kind of that like hero stuff, but all with like some of that body horror aesthetic from like the first run with Justin Jordan. When we had Cullen on a little while ago, and he was super enthusiastic about it. How has that collaboration been like, and like what was sort of the shared vision that you and the team had to create this?
Yeah, I mean, Cullen and I are longtime collaborators. I've been working with him literally since my first days at Marvel on Deadpool. And prior to that, I was a huge fan of his work, particularly his horror work. And, throughout all my time at Marvel, Cullen and I together were always, we want to do a horror book together. We want to do a horror book. We want to do a horror book. We want to do a horror book. And, Marvel isn't really known for their horror stuff. They're not gung-ho on it, which is totally fine. But there weren't a lot of opportunities for us to explore horror together there. And when I got the job at Valiant, literally the character I was most interested in was Shadowman. Shadowman was my first Valiant title I ever read. It was the Justin Jordan title, but I've read it all now. And for me, there's never, like, Shadowman is always like danced on the edge of horror, right? He's never really gone all in. And to me, that's like crazy, because literally he's called Shadowman,
Right.
He protects us from the spirits of the dead side. You know, he literally
That's right.
jumps demon, plays with necromancers, and all of this stuff. And they've never gone full on balls to the wall horror with it, which blows my mind. He's never even had like shadow abilities, and his name is Shadowman. And you know, with the way the Andy Diggle run let off, where he's now, you know, in full partnership with Bosu, the Shadow Loa, rather than, you know, working against each other, this unleashes a whole new, you know, box of powers and abilities that Jack has. But with that also comes a new target on his back. And literally, you know, when I knew Shadowman was going to be a book that I was going to be in charge of, I called Cullen and I was like, we're going to do that horror book.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
That's so awesome. So sold, right? So we read it. That's awesome. I'm gonna need you to keep that same energy, because I need that for the Final Witness. Like, for people watching, again, we haven't read it yet.
Hyped.
So sell it. Why should I be as excited for Final Witness as I am Shadow?
Oh my gosh. So the Final Witness is another huge passion project of mine. For those that don't know my history in comics, I got my start self-publishing. In particular, I self-published a crime anthology. I'm really, really into crime comics. Are you looking for it up on your?
I am. There it is.
Woo! Oh, you need the Ryan Brown. Nice. Who I
Mine's in
also
here
worked with
somewhere.
on Valiant on Quantum and Woody. You know, it goes full circle. Yeah, so that's you have it. It's you know, I've always been fascinated by just the genre of crime. I think it's fascinating because what is a crime and what is criminal is completely relative. You know, what is illegal varies from state to state, country to country. What is considered a wrongdoing and ethics in general varies from person to person. And I think, you know, in superhero comics especially, we talk about ethics literally all the time. And Valiant especially really likes those ethical gray landscapes. And so, me being the true crime lover that I am, I again wanted to bring that to Valiant, because Valiant's never done that. They've never had a full-on crime noir story. So the way I pitch Final Witness, because there's a lot of twists and turns that I wish I could give you the full head concept, but if I did, it would kind of like spoil it, and I don't want to do that. But it is Zodiac meets Superman.
Okay, sold. Yep, definitely sold.
So take up the most fucked up, twisted serial killer, you know, and then like wholesome superhero and put them together in one story. By Ray Fox, who is known Gotham by Midnight, another great, you know, crime story, Constantine, and Jeremy Hahn, also Constantine, and Beauty, and you know, this book is truly like one of my proudest accomplishments. And I can't wait for it to get into people's hands, because what you think is going to happen, it's 20 times more twisted than that.
Very stoked for that one. When is that dropping again?
So we haven't officially solicited it, but it is the back half of 2021. I can't announce dates that haven't been announced publicly yet, but it will.
Right.
More information will be coming out soon.
Okay, cool. Other upcoming stuff, Harbinger, and I can't remember if that's you or Lisa. I think it's
That's
you.
me. Yes.
Yeah, I'm like literally beyond stoked for that. Some of the promo art just looks like so cool, so bright and poppy. And I love the Joshua Dice art run, and so I'm really stoked for that. How much is the new series going to lean on some of that, on like the foundation, like the early Joshua Dice art series from like 2012?
Yeah, so it's funny. Harbinger was the only Valiant title I really hadn't explored before getting into Valiant. And I don't know why, it just, for whatever reason, it just never, the books never crossed my radar. And so for Valiant fans, you know that Joshua Dysart has written a lot of Peter Stantec.
Yeah.
He has written a lot of Toyo Harada. He has written a lot of the Renegades. He's written a lot. And I read all of it in probably a month. Most of it in a span of 2 weeks. It was a lot. And it's all very good, and like truly it's really excellent work. And but there is a lot of it. There's a whole saga there. And so one of the cool things about this new run is Jackson, Cullen, and Robbie are all huge old school Valiant fans. Like Jackson and Cullen know Valiant better than the people who created Valiant. Like truly, they have
wow.
like the encyclopedia in their head. And so, you know, when we first started talking about this project, I knew they were absolutely the right people for it because they truly understand who Peter is. They truly understand what Valiant is. And while, you know, we are very influenced by the Dysart run, we're not relying on it so that readers have to have read all 10 years of his work. Because I don't want anyone to have to cram.
It's got to be like a jumping on point.
It is, but you know what I just read the script for the last issue of the first arc from the boys, and one of the coolest things in it is there's so many deep cuts and references to Josh's run that, you know, diehard fans are going to be, holy shit, that's that, you know, oh my God, that's, you know, that's that moment, or that's that character, that's that scene. But if you know nothing about Peter Stantec, you're just like, oh, I get what they're going for. I get the emotional impact. I understand. So, and that's a hard line to balance. That's a really hard line to do, especially with something as in-depth and influential as Dysart's run on Harbinger. So I really think they found the balance, and we're doing something really cool and really, you know, bringing Peter to a new level that I think he himself has been trying to get to, you know, ever since he first became active, and well, not became active, but became, you know, actively working with the Harbinger Foundation.
Right.
And yeah, it's I like to talk about this book. It's punk rock Akira.
Okay. Yeah,
so,
that sounds awesome. I need it now, Heather. I need it in my hands.
Soon.
I'm very excited.
Soon. We're gonna be giving new images and preview pages and lettered pages very soon.
Are you pro Toyo or anti Toyo?
I'm pro Toyo as a dog.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense.
When he came to Peter as a dog, I mean, that's the best version of Toyo.
that's true.
Or the cat cover of Toyo.
That is a good cover.
That's an excellent cover. That is a great version of Toyo.
That's a very Toyo-ish cat that is on that. Yeah.
So you talked about, so you don't need to reach back to the original, to the last Harbingers, but I know that some people are looking forward to Faith. So we know Julie Murphy's Faith is going to be dropping in November. Are we going to see more Faith in this Harbinger?
You're gonna see more Faith. Faith makes an appearance in the first arc. That's all I will say there.
Oh, she dies. Oh, wow.
But
that's the headline.
But if you're interested in more Faith, there's going to be some huge Faith news coming soon.
Ooh.
And I probably shouldn't have said that, but oh well.
That's very exciting. Wow. Cool. Is Valiant kind of moving towards or away from crossover events? Seems away. Seems like there's just, I know Dr. Tomorrow had like some crossover eventish qualities, but looking into the future, is that something that you kind of want to drive towards, or is it something you kind of want to let the big two have?
It's something that needs to happen organically, you know, and that's one thing that Valiant has, I feel, done pretty well with in their history is lead towards organic events that make sense rather than we need to make a quick buck, so now we're gonna just smash an event together
Right.
last second and throw off our entire publishing line, right? Like,
Right.
you know, there's pros and cons to both ways, but you know, I have been that reader who's been really enjoying a run, and then all of a sudden I pick up an issue and nothing makes sense anymore because it's been, you know, it's a crossover and impacted by something that I don't give 2 cents about, right?
Secret Wars.
I was gonna say Original Sin, but sure. But yeah, and so, you know, there are definitely really big things in store in our plans for the Valiant universe. But like I said, this is something that, like, there's no reason to have an event for the sake of having an event if it just doesn't warrant it.
Valid. Yeah, definitely agree. Been some pretty sweet Valiant events in the past. It's just they're few and far between, and like you said, they seem to just happen when it makes sense rather than just like a let's get everyone together kind of thing. Oh, yeah, don't mind us.
The way that this feet.
If I don't touch her, she's gonna scream.
All right.
What's her name?
This is Coco.
Coco.
Yeah.
All right. So I feel like COVID is kind of tapering off, and with that, hopefully not wood. So with that, comic books are back in swing, but also TV, and so we have full nerd TV out with Mando and WandaVision, et cetera, and Invincible, great stuff. What are you watching? Talk to us about what is how you keep sane.
Oh my gosh. So it's funny. I've been going like back and forth between, I'm watching all their nerd stuff, right? Like Falcon Winter Soldier is, you know, the new weekly must watch, and the new Invincible is really, really good.
So good.
Yeah,
Yes.
like really, really good. And they match the art style so well.
Right.
That's really impressive. But so I'm sure we talked about this last time. I'm a big fan. When I'm not watching like the nerd stuff, I either watch true crime documentaries or really trashy reality television. And I've like really gone deep into the trashy reality television.
How did you feel about the last season of Bachelor?
You know, it was kind of disappointing.
Do you think they broke up after the season, right?
Yeah, they broke up because of all the like racial stuff that came out. He seems like a really good dude, but like, you know, after Serena P, that's who he like was really into, and she sent herself home. That's when I knew. I was like, he's not gonna marry anyone here.
Right.
But yeah, like, so Bachelor is one of my least trashy reality television shows that I watch. And this summer I decided I'm going to watch through the complete history of all the Real Housewives series.
Ooh,
and
wow.
I mean, I watched every single season of every single series of Real Housewives this summer. And literally this week, I decided, now I'm going to start with Keeping Up with the Kardashians from season 1, episode 1, and I'm working my way all the way through.
Why are you doing this?
It feels like it's like you're studying for something. Like one day you're going to be on Jeopardy. You're going to be on reality TV Jeopardy.
I don't know. It's just, I think, I mean, for me, you know, my job is to critically think about story and what makes a good story, and character arcs, emotional and plot holes, and, you know, all these different threads that have to be, you know, followed through. And so when I watch something fictional, like, it's really hard to turn that part of my brain off and actually just like enjoy something. And you don't have to do that with reality television. It's just all terrible.
It's still fictional.
Yeah. Some of it is more fake than others, you know.
Right. That's what my wife tells me. So, well, it's real, but you know, just kind of guide. I'm like,
it's dramatized, yeah. And well, the earlier you go in, like the first season of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, or like the first couple Bachelors, like the earlier you go into it, the more real it is. The longer something goes on, the more manufactured it becomes because
Right.
you know, drama
I used-
and ratings and bullshit.
I used to like Eliminate, like back in the '90s. That was my favorite my favorite reality.
Nice.
Yeah, you can still find them on YouTube. So Heather, I have to mention this. I have to ask. Did you see the cut?
I didn't, not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. I don't think I could just sit and watch one thing for 4.5. I don't think I have that attention span for literally anything.
It was
Well, all you have to do
it was a
is like,
challenge.
take short naps while it's
Right?
going, and it's
Well,
actually not that long if you sleep through some of it.
When he talked about, because I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think earlier in the summer he like mentioned it was going to be, instead of just an extended cut, it was going to be possibly like a mini series or something. Like they were going to
Yeah.
do
4
a version of
episodes.
that. Right. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh, if you do that, then I'll probably watch it because like that's consumable to me, you know?
Right.
So they released it as one whole movie, just so you know what you get into when you press play. They released it as the whole deal, but as you watch it, there's like title cards.
It's like part 3.
Oh, is
Yeah.
it really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
then as you're sitting there, the next title card will come up, and that's what will let you know, like, all right, I'll watch that tomorrow.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Alright.
no, I mean, I tried The Irishman, and that was a great movie.
I never finished it.
But I couldn't. I
No.
do not have that attention span.
Right.
Unless someone is sleeping with someone else's husband and things are getting broken and there's drunk people everywhere. I can't sit through 4 hours of something.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, 100%.
That's what I need. Give me that, Zack Snyder.
Spoiler alert: both of their mothers are named Martha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. One more job question, and that one is about editing in particular. So,
Okay.
Judah and I are no strangers to supervising and giving hard feedback, awkward feedback. What's the most difficult feedback? You don't have to give the individual's name, but what's the most awkward feedback or hardest feedback you've ever had to give to a creator as an editor?
Gosh, I mean, that's such an open-ended big question. You know, I think there's a lot of different situations, right? Like there's, but I think for me, the one that always is super hard for me is if like I'm working with a creator on a pitch that I love, like I read the pitch and I'm like, I love it. Like, I think for this most recent run on EXO, there was a pitch I was working with a creator on that like I absolutely loved this pitch so much. I think it's brilliant. I think it's something that is just so cool and really special that hasn't been done with a character before, but was also absolutely 150% never going to get approved. And so it's stuff like that where it's like, I can't really give you constructive feedback on this because it's not that it's bad, it's just not the right choice for what you know the publisher is looking for at this time, or you know, whatever. And so like there's always the like, you can try again in a completely different direction if you want.
Do a new pitch completely.
Right? But if your heart is so sold on that one version, like it's really hard to get as invested in something else, right? And
So in a general sense, what kind of stuff makes you say like it maybe is their story sometimes too big where it's like, no, you can't affect the universe that way, or what would make you say no?
what would make, I mean, again, it's
Yeah.
a lot of it is character specific or need specific, or you know, things
Sure.
like that, you know. There are definitely times you get pitches where someone's like, and here's my idea, but it only works if I get 60 issues, right? And it's like, it's cool to have something that pays off like that, totally 100%, and like
100%.
rad, but you can't bank on that. You cannot bank on that happening. And you know, say you only get 20 issues, but there's literally no payoff. Then it's like, you know, your series, your TV series got canceled at episode 4 and it was supposed to be 10 episodes, and you're just like, but I have so many questions, and we've seen that happen so many
You
times.
get
Firefly.
You get fireflied, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
For me, it's Kyle XY. Kyle
I beat
XY
you.
getting canceled mid season like really scarred me as a teenager.
Yeah.
Right on. So we spoke to Lisa Hawkins not too recently, but relatively recently. And
Time is
it was
relative.
yeah, at some point on the timeline. Yeah.
It was either
And,
3 years ago or 2 weeks ago.
Or last week, yeah. But it was awesome. We talked about the Rye run with Dan Abnett, and it was just amazing conversation, awesome run, and we love Lisa. Do you two work closely together, or is it kind of like you're operating in your own little separate? You know what I'm talking about? Like,
Yeah, no, it's
compartmentalized.
back when, seeing people in person was the thing. Lisa and I shared an office, and we worked very closely together. And though our books at the time didn't often cross paths, like EXO appeared in Bloodshot recently, and I, that wasn't willy-nilly. That was something that I read the scripts, I looked at the pages, I made sure everything was in sync with what was happening in EXO. And there's stuff coming up in Shadowman that has to do with characters that Lisa's involved with, and she knows about it, and so us as an editorial group, we are constantly talking and communicating with each other about what is going on in our respective books, but also what we're driving towards with the universe and the different storylines that are happening, and how we're building towards bigger events that might be happening, and so on and so forth. Like it's definitely not, yes, you go do whatever the hell you want over there, you go do whatever the hell you want over there, and we'll see what happens. That's just not how it works.
Right. Makes
All
sense.
right. So projects. Before we let you go, are there any projects that you are allowed to talk to us about? Doesn't, maybe not Valiant, whichever.
So very recently, it was just announced at Image, Declan Shelby has a new creator-owned book with Rory McConville and Joe Palmer, Chris O'Halloran, and Atsmain Allahu, called Time Before Time. It comes out in May. It is a it's a crime time travel book.
Yes.
So very super exciting. It's about basically gangs that, instead of monopolizing territory, they monopolize time. So this gang runs 2000 to 2020. Well, this gang runs 1980 to,
Yes.
and how they smuggle things between decades.
That's a great concept.
It's super, super fun. I am so proud of this. Yes, it comes out in May, like I said, so please, 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 please pre-order at your local comic shop. But also, I think, I'm not sure when this is airing, but mid-April, we're launching a Kickstarter for a special behind-the-scenes process book about the making of the series. So if you're into that sort of stuff, there's a lot of cool sketch and character designs, and how we go from plot to script to page to final, interviews, a lot of really, really cool stuff. And please, 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 please support us and get some really cool stuff.
So,
Definitely.
quick question on that.
Mm-hmm.
Back to the Future rules or MCU rules? or neither?
Our own rules.
All right, good. Okay.
Awesome.
a lot closer to Looper rules.
Oh,
I
okay.
like that. I like
Nice.
that. What was the title one more time?
Time Before Time.
Time Before Time. Okay.
I'm definitely gonna add that to my polls. So Robo's gonna do the outro in a moment, but just real quick, are you Team Godzilla or Team King Kong?
Team Mothra.
Right on. Okay, sweet.
That's fair.
That's
fair.
Just in case everyone was wondering, that's the right answer. Yeah.
So I hear Coco in the background saying, "This is done. Get out of this room, Dad,
Coco.
or else I'm gonna flip the fuck out." All right. So with that, ladies and gentlemen and NBs, that is the end of our show. Thank you so much, Heather Antos, for giving us some of your time here.
Yeah.
Don't forget to check out Valiant Comics and all the great stuff that's out there, but also Time Before Time. Check it out on and pre-order it at your local stores, and check out the, press rewind and hear more about the Kickstarter she just said that I kind of already forgot. So there'll be some stuff in drafts on there. Don't forget to wear your mask, wash your hands, and go get vaccinated, because there's no microchips in it. I have it.
And close your mouth when you're chewing. Do that too.
Yeah,
And when
for
you
sure.
sneeze.
Yeah, big time.
But also close your eyes when you sneeze. Is that I heard that's a. Is that
You can't avoid that.
possible?
You have to close your eyes when you sneeze.
physically
Oh no,
cannot
it's the
keep your eyes-
opposite. All right, next
Yes.
time I sneeze. All right, guys. You guys take it easy. We're out of here. Peace.
If you want to hear interviews from industry pros, get first looks, and have access to endless comic content, wake up. Please wake up. You're in a coma. Your mother misses you.